Today we're going to show you how to change the ice mold on the ice maker in your refrigerator. It's a really easy job. All you're going to need is a 1/4-inch nut driver, a Phillips screwdriver, a pair of needle nose pliers, and a flat blade screwdriver. Let me show you how we do it. Now the first step in this repair will be to open the freezer door. We're going to open up access to the ice maker. And we'll lift up on the arm to shut the ice maker off. Next we'll pull the bin out and set that aside. Just lift up on it and pull it straight out. Now next we're going to remove 2 1/4-inch hex head screws that go into the left-hand exterior wall, and then a Phillips screw along the bottom. So the screw that's towards the front is a little difficult to see. You probably have to reach in until you find it. Now, as you remove that last screw, the ice maker is no longer secured, so you'll have to support it. Now just lift up on the ice maker so that that leveling bracket will clear the shelf beneath it. Tilt it out. Then we're going to disconnect the harness connector at the back. Now with the ice maker pulled away, you can access the harness at the back, and there's a little locking tab on that. You need to pull up on that and disconnect that inline connector. Now we're ready to put the ice maker on a suitable work surface. Now that we have our ice maker on a suitable work surface, our next job is to transfer both the lifting arm, the guide, the fill cup, and the head all onto the new mold. So we start by disassembling. First thing we should take off is the leveling bracket. It's held in place with a single 1/4-inch hex head screw. We'll set that aside. Next we'll remove the wire harness from its connector on the side of the mold. And then we can remove that little clip. Just take a flat blade screwdriver, work that under the edge of it, and pop that out of there. Next, we're going to remove the cover on the ice maker head. There's a couple little slots on the bottom side of it here that you can put a flat blade screwdriver into and start that cover off. It's just a friction fit. Set that aside. Now there were 2 holes at the bottom of that ice maker head. And inside of those are some Phillips screws, so we'll start by removing those. Now the screws will stay inside, so we don't need to worry about those. And then we're gently going to pry the head away from the mold. We can use a little flat blade screwdriver and just go in there, start pushing it away. And we'll also have the resistance of the shut-off lever, but we're going to leave that in position for now until we get it completely out. Take the ice cube guide off, and it just pulls forward and lifts out. Then we can lift that shut-off lever up and disengage it. There's the 2 screws that secure it to the mold, and also the termination thermostat, which sits tightly up against that mold. Now it may come out with the mold, and if it does, you need to reinsert that. There's 2 prongs on it that will fit into 2 holes, and it'll only go in one way. Now next we'll remove the pieces from the old mold. The eject arm will slide out of the fill cup. And you can take that fill cup, it just has a friction fit at the back. It needs to twist out gently, and we can set aside the old mold. Now to reassemble, the first thing you should do is locate that clamp that holds the harness in place. See roughly where that should be, and then tap that into place. Now once you have that tapped in place, just compress that a bit, just make sure that it's going to get a nice tight grip on the sensing portion of that harness. Next we can install the leveling mount bracket, and the fat portion of that bracket is what sits on the ice maker. And we'll align that using the marks from where it was located on the original mold. Now we can begin reassembling. We'll start with the fill cup. Snap that into place in the back. There's a locating tab front and rear on there to center that in that opening. Take the guide. There's a little locating tab on the rear of that and two on the front. So we need to fit that rear one into a slotted opening. Next we'll put the eject lever in, and there is a D-shaped end of the shaft on one end of it. That's the portion that will go into the ice maker. So fit the back end into that bearing opening on the fill cup and then hook it in at the front. Now we're ready to attach the ice maker head to the body of the mold. And there are two connections for the heater that's built into the mold, and then this is a guide on the left-hand side of it that will fit into an opening in the ice maker head. So we'll line those up and start to insert them. Decent angle. Now you may need to rotate that eject arm till it fits easily into the ice maker head. Make sure there are no obstructions. And we'll just start those two screws that secure the head to the mold, just to keep everything in place. Now we can tighten the two screws fully. Now we can snap the harness into its clip on the side. Next we'll rotate the shut-off lever into position. It has a kink on the front of it that we need to line up with a slotted opening. Make sure it's fully inserted, and we'll lock in place. Again, check the operation of the shut-off lever. We're ready to put the cover back on the ice maker head. Snap that into position, and we're ready to install it back in the refrigerator. Now when installing the ice maker, first thing we'll do is connect the wire harness. Make sure the locking tab engages. Keep the shut-off arm up, and we're going to lower that leveling bracket into place. install one of the 1/4" screws to hold it in place. Once you have one screw in there, that'll hold it in place until we can get the second one located. The front screw will be the hardest one to get located, but it should turn in easily. Now we won't snug those up until we've made sure that the ice maker is level and secure it with the single Phillips screw. Make sure it's level, and then tighten all 3 screws. Next, we'll install the ice bin. We'll reach in and turn the ice maker back on. And our repair is complete.